Hello civilians, it is me, Pawn Ranger, your favorite guy, back again with another tour video. I am recording this on September 1st, so you may notice that I'm a ways out from IdolFest date, and I'm also visiting my parents while recording this. You may recognize this room from my earlier content when I wasn't away at college. So that means if you're good and stay for the rest of this video diary, you will get dog footage, at least 10 seconds of dog footage at the end of the video. I will pay the pickles tax, I will pay the Oscar tax. So, SoCal IdolFest was August 12th in California. So this is my first time ever going to California. Like, well, that's a lie. I went a couple years ago to visit some friends in San Francisco, but this is my first time in SoCal. I've never been to LA before, or like the LA area. So I was really nervous because I'm like a 7 or 8 hour flight away from home, essentially. And it was, so the IdolFest Foundation's first like music festival type event. It's kind of like a proof of concept year. So I knew that this was like a long time coming, and of course I wasn't privy to any of the selection process or anything like that. So it was a long time. I had applied, it was one of the first things I applied for my tour, just sort of threw it out there. And I had, I was like, you know, I may or may not get in. We'll see what happens. I think I applied for it like before Anime Boston, so that's how far back that they were planning this and selecting people. So I initially did not make it onto the original roster of performers. And I was like, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna work for like IIN there, I'm gonna like do representative stuff. And then a couple months before the event, under the like literally like right under, apparently something happened, some group had to drop, and I was put in to perform because I was the first on the wait list, and that was really exciting. I didn't think I would make it, but I'm glad I did. So this is like my first time out in like that area, and I didn't know until the event how many fans I had. Like, I knew I had fans in like SoCal, and I knew I had fans in California in general, but I didn't know like how many fans I actually had until I was there. And people started coming up to me after my performance and throughout the day while I was at my performer booth, and started like talking to me and being like, oh my god, I can't believe that you're out here, I didn't think you'd ever come out here. And I was like, yeah, no. So because there are so many of you, I'm thinking about coming back out. I'm going to try to apply for ALA. So I got a very warm welcome out there. Unfortunately, halfway through the event, I started getting like heat sickness. So like my costume is light enough that it moves around on its own. I have plenty of skin exposed for me to like sweat it out, and like I can take the hat off and put out my hair and stuff. But I was sitting there and I was getting like sicker and sicker, and I was like, you know what, I can just like have some water, have some Gatorade from the green room, it'll be okay. And then it just kept like, then I stopped sweating, and I was like, ooh. Yeah, so I ended up having to go back to my hotel room, change into like something different, go take a cold shower, lay in some air conditioning for a while, and come back. So I was still, I came back later in the day, so I spent most of the day in my costume, but I still feel like, I feel a little bad because there were people that were like, oh, I got here late, and it's like, yeah, and like I wasn't able to get a costume checky or anything, so I'm so sorry. If any of you guys wanted like a costume checky and you guys didn't get one, at this event, please contact me so that I can get you one. I'm so sorry about getting sick. Like, I feel like I shouldn't, I know it's something that I don't have to apologize for, but like, it's still like, you came out to this event, you paid like $35 to get into the music festival, like, you should get the thing that you want. So please, like, send me an email. You could email here, or like send me a DM on like Twitter or Instagram or something so I can get you one for free. It's totally fine. Just thank you for supporting me. So after the event wrapped, like, me and Paida and my friend Alexis went out to dinner, and I've been making new friends during this tour. That's the fun part. I feel like I haven't mentioned this in any of the other tour videos, but I've been making a lot of friends. It's nice to have friends. I love talking to people within my community. And we got to go out to dinner together and hang out for a little bit, and that was really nice. And then Sunday of that weekend, I went to my dear friend Phoebe's event at Asayura Maid Cafe. So she's also on tour. She's doing like a coast-to-coast thing as well. And I'm so glad I was able to go. Thank you, Sae, and all the maids there. I owe you my life. Because me and my friends were like, oh, we were gonna go, and there was like a ticket limitation or miscommunication or something, and one of my friends contacted Saya and was like, hey, do you have any tickets at the door? And there were. Thank you so much. I owe you. And that was really fun. That was my first like brick and mortar maid cafe experience, so I had a lot of fun. I got a checky with each maid, and a checky with a couple checkies with Phoebe and stuff, and it was really fun. If you guys are interested, because this place is really awesome, they're moving right now, and they have like an Indiegogo campaign to move into a standalone location. So they are currently attached to a barcade in Torrance, and they've done so well that they've outgrown their little spot in the barcade. So they're trying to move to a bigger, newer home. So if you guys are interested in supporting them, or you guys can, please, I have the Indiegogo posted in the pinned comments. And then I went home, and I prepared to get to Anime Magic, but of course we are weeks out from those events, so unfortunately I had to cancel my Anime Magic tour date because of flight issues that I had. So American Airlines workers are currently going on strike, and that entire week leading up to it, apparently there was like things where like they overbooked flights like crazy, and then like then they moved people from like those overbooked flights to like different flights, and then kicked off people off of those flights. It was a whole mess. So I got there to the airport, and they kicked me off of my flight and told me that the soonest that I could get there was Saturday morning. So basically the first leg of my tour, I would get there the first leg of my travel, I would get there on Saturday morning, and maybe they could get me a flight to get me there into Saturday afternoon. But at that point it would have been 2 days into my trip. So I was able to get the flight refunded. And another thing with that was that like I tried to look at other airlines and other stuff, but like to get a ticket on that such short notice, it was like at least like $500, $600 that I didn't have. And I tried different airports. It was just, if I wanted to reroute with American Airlines, I had to do it from the airports that I was conscripted to when I booked my flight. And I couldn't move any of those destinations, even if they were within the same state or area. So that was not fun. I was absolutely devastated. Without going into like any like big detail about it, I was like really depressed about it because like it was gonna be like my last tour day. I was gonna announce my Colossal Con encore thing there. A lot of people were like, people had traveled to like Anime Magic to come see me specifically, I know, and I feel really bad about it. And I don't know, it's like all of these things are out of my control, but like it still sucks. So again, like, I know I offered this when I canceled the thing, but hey, if you're someone that traveled out to Anime Magic to come see me perform, I am so sorry again. Please also contact me with this email, put in like the subject line like about Anime Magic, that, and I can like send you a like the souvenir like train ticket for the event, and a checky. I'll include some goodies. And then what's coming next is Colossal Con East in a week. Holy shit. I'm nervous. I'm not nervous, but like it is my last thing, and I can't believe that it's almost over. I really can't, because I just spent, it feels like May was like a couple weeks ago. It feels like I was at PucciCon a couple weeks ago. It feels like I was packing to get ready for Delta H only like last week or something. But I'm very emotional about it. I'm trying to keep that shit in. I'm trying to keep that shit in for the video, but I can't believe that I pulled this off with my own funding and stuff. Like, I know I said like, oh, there's some hiccups along the way, and like some dates that had to be canceled, but because of issues outside of my control. But I did it. I fucking did it. I can't guarantee that I won't cry at Colossal Con. So I'm doing a song that was very highly requested for me to do as my opener, and then my ending song for Colossal Con is going to be a song that I wanted to do when I was younger and was like, didn't know too much about like overseas idol stuff, but no, I wanted to perform it because I got into this group when I was very young. So, and I also picked it for lyrical content. I'm really trying not to cry on this one. Put it down in the comments what you think my opener and ender song are going to be if you are watching right now. The hint for the opener is that it is not Cold Case. Rezo doesn't let people do live covers of their stuff. I don't know if that's the case because now they've disbanded, but I'm still going to respect that as a creator. The hint for the closer song is there used to be 6 members of this group, and now then there were 5 for many years, and now there is only 4. And this is one of their songs that they do for encores. So put them down in the comments if you know. So what did I learn from SoCal IdolFest and Anime Magic? So for SoCal IdolFest, I learned that you don't know until you get there. So basically, I was a little nervous going in that people were not going to be super interested in me because they hadn't heard of me before and they were just going to like go hang out and go get lunch during my set. And that didn't happen. And also I didn't know how many fans I actually had out there until I got out there. Because I knew you guys existed, but I didn't know that many of you guys existed, and that makes me really happy. And another thing, like me being waitlisted for the event and then getting in, because if you're like a performer and you know, like, for when you get waitlisted for an event, that's a great opportunity that people aren't gonna like pass up or just drop easily. You know that usually you're not going to make it off that wish list unless something happens that makes someone else drop off of it. And it's like I stuck it out and I made it. And then for Anime Magic, because I can still learn things, even if I didn't actually make it to the tour date. So basically, I learned that it is okay to admit when something falls apart, when something goes wrong, and you don't have to be ashamed about it. Like, it's not my fault that American Airlines doesn't want to pay their workers fairly and thus decides to try to recoup the cost from people striking by overbooking people. It's not my fault. It's not my fault that I had flight issues. But after the event, I was feeling very depressed and ashamed that happened, because people had gone out of their way to go to Anime Magic, to go to that tour date. And I felt like I was a disappointment to my fans. And that's kind of like a hard thing to like admit, like, verbally. Like, I've talked about it to my friends and like people that I've talked about it to people that I trust, because after Anime Magic having to cancel it, I felt like really low, but like, it's like I may have disappointed some people, but that doesn't make me a disappointment as a person, as a creator, especially since the reason for the cancellation was out of my control. And again, every single what did I learn from this tour date lesson adds with, you need to be nicer to yourself, which sometimes is hard. I feel like I haven't opened up about it too much, but if it wasn't very clear, I do struggle with like some self-confidence issues, like self-esteem, and depression and stuff. And it can be very difficult sometimes as a performer and putting yourself out there when you do feel like insecure about yourself sometimes. But I perform and I do this because I really love it, but the mortifying ordeal of being known, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. I think one of these days I'm going to build up enough confidence in myself that I you know, even though if sometimes it like comes back and bites me in the ass, the like thoughts about being like a disappointment, or feeling ashamed, or like I'm not working hard enough, one of these days I'm gonna like it's gonna be less. It's gonna be less to carry around. And I truly believe that. So that's it for this one. I'm sorry that it got a little heavy towards the end. But you know what? Raw, real, honest vibes only during the tour logs. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. I can't believe the Colossal Con East tour video diary, like, this is gonna be the last tour video diary. Christ. It feels like I was only, like, starting the tour, like, a couple weeks ago. Holy shit. So, thank you so much. I'll see you guys for the last installment whenever that comes out. Bye!
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Puppy, 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 puppy. Hi, puppies. Oscar. Pickles. No? Okay.